Well, hello everyone. You know what time it is. It's time finally for a Mulberry Mouse tutorial. Give me a moment to slip into something less comfortable. Hi. So if you're new to the channel, apart from being weirded out by that intro or how close I am to the camera right now, you might be wondering if I actually know what I'm talking about when it comes to Alan Gogo's music. Before we get started, there's a few things to address. This is going to be the first full tutorial for Mulberry Mouse to my knowledge, meaning it's got all the notes, the harmonics, the intonation, everything. And that's very exciting, but I do just want to take a second to acknowledge that I did not get here in a vacuum. I think it was actually this tutorial by Gav Davidson that was my first introduction to Alan's technique and actually made me realize it was possible to learn this stuff when his tuning is not available and it looks so unbelievably hard to play. Speaking of hard to play, this is the hardest song that I've ever learned. And I would highly advise that you, in stepping into this, prepare yourself a little bit first. I would recommend that you at least have some familiar with Alan's tuning, percussive stuff on guitar, and the Bell's harmonic technique. If that's not where you're at, I do have tutorials for Honeybee Hill and Leah's Dance currently up on my channel, as well as a general video around how to learn Alan's stuff. Highly recommend you explore some of that first if you haven't already. Additionally, the tuning for this song, like most of Alan's stuff, goes from low to high, E, A, C sharp, E, B, and E, except every single string is tuned 40 cents sharp. For this tutorial, I am doing it in the full 40 cents sharp, funky intonation, and I think that's because I imagine that you're going to want to reference Alan's videos of him playing Mulberry Mouse, and having that in the same intonation is very important. If you're unfamiliar with how to get into that 40 cent sharp tuning, you can use an app like Guitar Tuna. It'll display the cents in 10-cent intervals, so as you tune your strings up, you'll see a little +4 symbol, and that means you're there. Do that for every single one of your strings, and when you capo to the 7th fret, it should sound like this. Also, speaking of the capo, to play this song at capo 7, which is where Alan plays it, you will need a guitar with a cutaway. If you don't have one, you can capo down to the 5th fret, and everything will be still totally playable. And it's just this one section that's difficult. So for that section, and just to clarify, it's this one. For that section, I will do a tutorial version for both the 7th and the 5th fret so that you can follow along as easily as possible. Everything else should be possible at the 7th fret if you don't have a cutaway. And of course, this song is going to rely heavily on Alan's Bell's harmonics technique, which relies on both hands to indist the harmonics. So I can do them here on my right, or here on my left. And you put them together and you get it's very hard. I wish you luck. Also, I've been getting a lot of questions about the strings I use lately on some of my videos. I use medium elixir phosphor bronze strings, which are a coated string, and I don't think the brand is especially important, but any medium weight coated string is going to be really good for this, and I'd make sure it's new because the newness of the string seems to be really important for harmonics. And also, why aren't my notifications off? Guys, I'm so professional. It's crazy. Oh, and also for the harmonics, I've used these different sticky note colors to show you where the fret equivalents are. So this is the 5th fret equivalent, the pink, 7th fret, and then this is just the 12th fret when you're capoed on 7. See what I mean? So you'll should be a helpful visual cue as we get into it. And without further ado, I will try and teach you how to play the hardest song I've ever learned. All right, second portion, mark. So this little section has kind of four main parts, and you're going to need to be comfortable doing harmonics with both your index and middle fingers here, and it's kind of crazy. So you start with your middle finger on the 5th fret equivalent and your pointer finger on the 7th fret equivalent, which will probably take some getting used to. Now we come to the main melody, which is a really fun part to play, honestly. The main thing to track as you're starting to learn is the thumb picking pattern. It goes like this. And it's just easy to get that lost as you're learning the intricate notes of the arpeggios and stuff. Anyways, here's how it sounds fast, and then I'll break it down nice and slow. Huzzah! So that is the melody. I would get comfortable playing that at full speed before you add the percussive stuff in the next melody verse, which is the... But before we get to that, there's another little harmonic section. So after you've done there, we have a new harmonic section, and it goes like this. Let's break it down. Give it some time, you will get there. And now we're at the part where the percussion starts. I'm going to go a little bit faster here, assuming that you already know the melody. This is just so you can get the timing of the percussion. except this section has a little bit of a harmonic break. So right in the middle, you're going to do this. And you're going to be using actually the 4th fret of your middle E string here. So you have like 5th fret. You can actually do one on the 4th fret for this string. It's just because of the way the intonation is, I don't know. But I think it's cool. You can even do 3rd, it's wild. But yeah, so 4th. And then this is how you put it all together. So as you're leading up to it, it's going to look like this. And then as you're leading into the end of this section here, and then we go into another brief harmonic section. It's like the one we did before, just a little bit shorter. And after that, we're on to the part that if you don't have a cutaway, you'll need to capo down to the 5th fret, but we'll start with the 7th fret stuff. Alright, and here is the 5th fret version of that. Okay, that's the high part done. And then we go back to the melody, and it's pretty much the same with just a couple slight differences. And then we've got a really fun harmonic section where you're plucking 2 at the same time. And then for the next part, you take your right hand up to the 5th fret equivalent. And then you pluck your C sharp here before going into another harmonic arpeggio. And then you're back to the melody. So normal the first time through, and then the second go, just hang out on that E a little bit longer. then we get to go up into, hands down, my favorite part of the song. Let's break it down. And then you'll repeat it again. And then it's another unique arpeggio. So we're going 7th here on the left hand and 7th on the right. Switch over to 5th on the left. All right, and here is the 5th fret version. And then you'll go back up to this high part, but a little different this time. That same arpeggio. And then it's actually time for the outro. Well, folks, that is the song. And again, I apologize for the delay here. After I learned it for that talent show a few months back, I was like so burnt out that I just stopped practicing. So I actually had to relearn it for this tutorial. But in that time, I've not been idle. I've been learning a bunch of other Alan songs. So in the near future, you can look forward to more tutorials. So subscribe if you don't want to miss those. And again, thank you just for being here, for watching. It's really gratifying for me to see when you guys comment and like, hey, it means a lot to me that you made a tutorial for this. I've been wanting a tutorial. Like these, a lot of effort goes into these, so it's nice to know that it's worthwhile for y'all. Anyways, take care and good luck.